Jim Harbaugh wrestling a high school kid in his kitchen, in his khakis.
It sounds like pedophilia. I'm just gonna say it sounds like pedophilia.
Wentz guy, I need an answer from you. Are you a Carson Wentz guy or not? I need to know where you stand on this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yes, I am. I love Carson.
Why?
I've been emotionally fucked. I feel like I've been physically fucked, and I've been spiritually fucked.
And Daniel Jones, if you're ever watching the Muffed Podcast, you got a fan in me. I got your back.
I love you guys. I love the listeners. You guys are my homies.
Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Muffed Podcast. As always, my name is Boaz, and I'm joined by Lamita and Aaron. What's up, guys?
I'm doing great. I just want to say prayers, to Ryan Finley. He had one of the most devastating injuries we've seen in recent history, and he came back and played the next snap. Which salute. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why he did that. The doctors really should have just kept him out. But it's Brandon Allen's starting. Brandon Allen's starting now, that's crazy, that's good. Yeah. Give Ryan Finley. Hopefully he'll be back next year. I'll be rooting for him.
That's Aaron. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. People who've never seen the Mo podcast before, this is their first episode, and they're just watching this, what the fuck is he talking about? All right, whatever. Lamita, do you have something to say? How
highlight of the week? I didn't really have one.
We didn't get any highlights. We didn't get to any highlights. Whoa! It's just the intro. What highlight are you getting into? This is just the intro.
Man, my bad.
Yeah.
All right, Lamita, you're looking like you have a down day, man. You got the hoodie on and the hat on. You're indoors. I don't know what's going on here.
This is such a trash intro. Lamita goes to highlights of the week. I talk about something that's going to make people click off in 2 seconds. What is this?
Yeah, the episode gets better. We have a guest foreshadowing. Stick around.
Yeah, if you're first time watching, welcome to the Muffed Podcast.
We love you.
It probably goes downhill from here. So this is,
No. Today we got someone to save our ass. So it goes uphill.
Let's get into the episode. It's gonna go downhill. Let's get into the episode. As always, we start off our episodes with our highlights of the week. Lamita's falling off. He looks like that. Have you seen that meme where the dude, the Subway guy, and he just falls asleep and just fucking falls in the sandwich? Have you seen it? Have you seen that video?
No, I don't think.
Yeah, just the Subway worker. She just put fucking salt on the sandwich, and she just fucking falls asleep on the sandwich, just mid.
Dude, that's nice.
Yeah, no, it's kind of sad. Nice. Probably, if you're that tired, it's kind of sad. Probably getting over.
Yeah.
But highlights of the week, man. This is going off the rails, man. This is bad. We just started and it's off the rails. Aaron, why don't you kick us off? What's your highlight of the week?
My highlight of the week, it's going to be sort of a low light of the week. It's going to be a little rant about Rays fans. Obviously Rays fans, they just made it to the World Series. I think this was their first. I could be wrong about that, but anyways, Randy Arozarena, the guy who broke out and set the record for most home runs in a postseason, just out of nowhere, rookie year, he's been not arrested, detained. He has not been officially arrested in Mexico for allegedly taking his daughter by force, and he's facing kidnapping charges.
I saw that video, yeah.
And he assaulted his ex-stepfather,
his
allegedly.
grandfather, and his I think maybe the grandmother too. I think both, and his in-laws. Right?
Yeah,
but it's not his grandfather. It's his in-laws. Baseball.
Randy Arozarena, he's the guy who set the World Series, the postseason record for most home runs in a postseason this year as a rookie. Anyways, so this is a big story. I mean, obviously, depending on what details come out, it could be facing a suspension, or best case scenario is, obviously it's not best case scenario, but just for him, his baseball future, something the people that were taking care of his daughter, or maybe, I don't want to call it out, but they're maybe not treating her very nicely, and he had to get her out of there. But there's really no details on what happened. The MLB is probably going to wait to see what takes place out of this, because in Mexico, the law is they have 48 hours to decide whether or not they press charges. If they decide to press charges, then, this could get a little fishy for him. But yeah, so, that's a very depressing story. And also Rays fans, everything's going downhill for them. Charlie Morton, their ace pitcher, is officially signed with the Braves in free agency. And all of a sudden they're talking about trading Blake Snell, who is their best pitcher. And they're just literally off of making the World Series and almost beating the Dodgers with half their payroll. So these moves, Charlie Morton leaving, they can't control that, but trading Blake Snell makes no sense, But as an A's fan, I just want to say, Rays, I relate to you guys 100%. Just get good, and then you trade all your fucking players away for fucking nothing, because a billionaire owner is too cheap to just pay guys just $10 million a year.
They don't even have their own version of Moneyball. You can watch Moneyball and eat ice cream. They don't even have. There's no Rays version of Moneyball.
Yeah.
What are they gonna
do? They don't even have it as a movie. They don't. They can't watch Rays Moneyball. They're basically using the same strategies these days, though. So Rays fans, I feel for you. Hopefully Randy Arozarena, didn't do anything too illegal, but if he did, we'll see what happens.
All right, Lamita, You're in a very depressed mood. Like, I'm just looking at your picture right now.
Right.
Just,
No, I was trying to act like I was frozen. It didn't work. But anyways, so I was looking through Twitter for my highlight of the week. And just because the 49ers are playing the Rams this week, this verified Twitter account, I'll shout him out because I want to roast him.
Wait, no free. I don't know free shout outs. No,
it's not a shout out. It's just a roast. So Ramblin' Rams fan or fan-sided network for Rams.
Oh, I have seen this guy.
Didn't you? They tweeted something out. They said Debo shaded Aaron Donald first, and then someone on the 49ers or someone from the 49ers said no, it was the other way around. Aaron Donald said it first, and he's like, "No, your facts are wrong." Then RSF 49er puts out a clip of Aaron Donald shading Debo first, and the replies have more likes than the actual tweet, which
so you got ratioed. Which you're trying. He got ratioed by Raj, fan of the podcast, friend of the podcast.
Raj the goat.
Yeah.
Hold up, and I have another one. It's in my bookmarks. Let me find it.
I thought. Are you looking for it? I thought Aaron Donald shading Debo Samuel first. I thought that was common knowledge. I didn't know there was any debate on that.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean,
okay,
maybe rambling. I'm just gonna play the devil's advocate here. Maybe a rambling Rams fan. Maybe he's got some insight. Maybe Debo actually privately said something. Just gonna be a devil's advocate. You don't know.
All right, second bookmark. I actually tweeted this in anticipation for this podcast. I'm proud I did it because I actually kind of find it funny, and it gives some context for later on the episode. Foreshadowing. So Lou Young, I think he was a college football player. He tweeted out to where John Harbaugh was fighting Mike Vrabel. He tweeted, quote tweeted it. It's been getting some likes, and he said, Harbaugh's different though. Jim recruited me in high school, came to my crib, and we was wrestling in the kitchen in front of my mom. Just like picturing that entire scene, Jim Harbaugh wrestling a high school kid in his kitchen, in his khakis.
It sounds like pedophilia. I'm just kidding. It sounds like pedophilia. That doesn't sound legal.
No,
you said he's in high school. In high school, right?
Yeah.
Before he was 18.
I don't know if he was 18 or not.
It's wrestling. It's wrestling.
It's wrestling. Come on, man.
Come on, boys.
I don't know, man. There's something a little.
You're the one who said it. You're the other one who said it. I was thinking too. You said it.
It's a Stephen A. meme. It's I know you didn't have to say it, right? We all thought about it, but you didn't have to say it.
Yeah, I think Jim Harbaugh. I think it's just wrestling.
Let me just highlight of the week: pedophilia. All right.
No.
All right, let's get into mine. I have Carson Wentz. He's getting some hate. We talked about him you're going to see in our upcoming interview. We talked about Carson Wentz a little bit. Aaron, big, not a big Carson Wentz fan. Lemeter, pretty big Carson Wentz fan. We got all the spectrum of Carson Wentz fans here. You got Aaron on one side, and you got me in the middle, and then you got Lemeter. So Carson Wentz, in fact, it comes out that he actually became vegan in the offseason. And that actually that's why. They were saying that Cam Newton, when he became vegan a few years ago, he got injured. And then now Carson Wentz, they think that the reason why he's going bad is because he's not getting enough protein, and it's something to do with his muscles and stuff like that. That's why he's a worse quarterback. So he's a pussy vegan. I think that's what it's kind of.
Apparently eating vegan affects accuracy as well. That's why all those quarterbacks became inaccurate once they went vegan.
So that's what I'm saying. I think
Tom Brady went vegan, and he's still the GOAT. So
no, Tom Brady is not. Tom Brady's not vegan. He goes on a diet. I don't think he's vegan. He does like paleo or whatever, some special diet. But he eats meat.
I don't know. I know the tweet you're talking about, and they said Aaron Rodgers went vegan for 2 years, and his accuracy went down. There is no correlation. Correlation does not cause causation. I'm a stats major, and I can tell you they have no correlation.
I just Lemeter, thank you for segueing this. I don't mean to call you out here, but Lemeter, are you a Carson Wentz guy or not? Because it's very confusing. Because you ranked him at 3, right? And then when in the beginning of the season when I started my ranting, and then you were totally with me, and then now I feel like you're going back to a Carson Wentz guy. I need an answer from you. Are you a Carson Wentz guy or not? I need to know where you stand on this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yes, I am. I love Carson.
Why are you a Carson Wentz guy?
Does the veganism concern you? Does the veganism?
No, I think he's a good quarterback. He does decently with less. I think he gets overhated. He's not as bad as people are saying. He's not having a good season by any means. Answer my question. But he's not bad.
Lemeter, does the veganism concern you? Does that concern you that he's?
No, not at all. Well, okay, hopefully
it's super concerning. I think it's mega concerning. It's really concerning.
All right, man.
Hey, my franchise quarterback. If my franchise quarterback became vegan,
Aaron agrees with this. Aaron once said on record, Carson Wentz is tough as nails. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. He makes good throws. I think he just needs to work on his decision making. sometimes. And once he does that, I think he'd be top 5, top.
You know, really, what I want Carson Wentz to become? I want it to become like Sean Lee, where like we all know about Sean Lee, but like, do we ever like see Sean Lee play? Like we all know, oh yeah, Sean Lee, he's good, he's a good linebacker, but like he just never plays. He's always injured. I want Carson Wentz.
Is he still in the league?
He is still in the league. He still plays for the Cowboys. Yeah,
I thought he retired. What?
I want that to become Carson Wentz. That's what I want Carson Wentz to become, where it's just going to be like, I mean, Carson Wentz is really good, right? But it's like, when's the last time we've seen him play? Like, I mean, he played like 1 game in 2018, maybe 2 games in this year. And
he's still in the Cowboys. What the hell?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Sean Lee's, I mean, he's a phantom. He's a ghost. Yeah. We all talk about him. And it's like, everyone talks to him like, oh yeah, Sean Lee's a really good linebacker. Once he comes back for the Cowboys, their defense can be good. It's like, I mean, have we ever actually seen Sean Lee play?
Yeah. When's he coming back? I haven't seen him in 3 years. It's been a minute.
He comes back and then he gets injured the next. So that's really what I want. I want the Eagles to go that route. So I want Carson Wentz to become the next Sean Lee. So that we just for the next 10 years we only talk about Carson Wentz and be like, yeah, Carson Wentz. Once he comes back to the Eagles, their offense is gonna be clicking, and Carson Wentz just never comes back. It's just
I think Wentz might be a top 5 quarterback for me in the league right now, or not like
right now.
No, for personal favorites.
Oh, favorites.
Yeah. So if they do cut him,
that's a bad list to be on. I mean,
if the Eagles,
that's not a good list.
Wait.
On to the next segment. We have an interview with Vish from, he does stuff with Grant Cohn.
VishSports.
He's got his podcast. Yeah, Blake and VishSports. Check him out and check out his interview. I think you'll enjoy it.
Welcome to the Muffed Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Today I got the usual guests, Aaron and Boaz, with me, and we have special guest Vish with us. Vish is from Blake and Vish and he does a weekly segment with the Grant Cohn. All right, welcome, Vish.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Yeah.
All right, then let's jump right into it. Before we start, we're going to talk about the 49ers. We're going to talk about the NFL. We're going to have a couple fun segments in there. So, all right, first question of the day. Vish, this is for you. The 49ers are 4-6 right now. Not doing very well, but there are some optimists on Twitter, including myself. How do you see the 49ers? How do you see the 49ers season playing out from here on out?
Yeah, I see best case scenario 7-9 for them, and I see worst case scenario 6-10. I'd love to be optimistic, but the way the season's going, the way people keep getting injured, who plays quarterback for them currently, all those things taken into account, and who they're playing and what those teams have to play for, I just see no way for the 49ers to come out this season making the playoffs. It's unfortunate that it happened this way. But you know what? They had so many injuries. They had so much to deal with. It's an impossible task, really, to ask anything more of them than 7-9 or 8-8.
I mean, I think it's one thing also that this season could honestly fuel like a Super Bowl run in the future season, just because I think a lot of the players on this team believe that this is a Super Bowl caliber team. It's just injuries are the problem, right? I think that's what's really holding the Niners back. It's not talent. It's just the unfortunate circumstances. Like 2020 has been a crappy year for everybody, but the 49ers especially, it's just been the worst.
Yeah, it could, I get where you're coming from, but I think there has to be a little bit of retooling. Waiting on a roster for the roster to have it happen like this and then expect everything to go back to the same next year, it's really an impossible task and an impossible ask. The NFL is all about evolving, and I think one of the bigger problems with the 49ers this season was that they tried to recreate the same exact thing that didn't work last year. And it's marginal, right? Because all they talked about all season was, well, it didn't work for these 2 or 3 very small reasons, but it didn't work at the end of the day. And they tried to recreate a better, worse version of something that didn't work, which I think that even with health, even if they were all healthy, ultimately they would not have won a Super Bowl this year.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they got Mitch Wishnowsky rolling out at quarterback by week 17.
Hey man, all for the tank, right? We're trying to get a quarterback, right? But Vish, that's what I wanted to ask you. So what do you were saying that there's some noticeable holes in the Niners roster, and that you think that they should kind of go in a different direction? Because I think last year they really went with like, all right, Joe Staley's gone, let's replace him with Trent Williams. Emmanuel Sanders is gone, let's bring in Brandon Ayuk. It's just very I feel like it was very lateral replacement stuff like that. What do you think they're gonna go with for next year?
Yeah, so I mean the one everybody wants to talk about is quarterback, right? And I go on with Grant. So Grant loves the quarterback topic, and we've talked about it the last 4 or 5 Mondays. I think we just keep beating the dead horse with that. And I think it's not as simple as, if the Niners just move off of Jimmy, they're going to be X amount better, right? because Jimmy is just a fine quarterback. He's so-so. He's mediocre. He is what he is. But unless you get a guy that's top 5, top 10, you're not getting so much better than Jimmy where you can just totally cover up the noticeable other holes within this roster. For example, the interior offensive line. They paid Weston Richburg a lot of money. Weston Richburg has suffered 2 career-threatening type injuries. A patella is a really bad injury to his knee, and the torn quad is the injury that ended Tony Parker's career. Granted, he was older, ended Charles Barkley's career. It's a very serious injury. That's the point. Look at Victor Oladipo, same injury. So that's a very serious injury. Then they drafted McKivitz, total unknown. Brunskill, I just think they put too much on his plate this season. I think he could have been solid if they just asked him to play right guard, but they had him play center all of camp, and then now they asked him to play right guard at the beginning of the season. They asked him to play center again. Garland is mediocre. He's a good backup. And then you have McGlinchey, who they drafted 9th overall. You're expecting a franchise-level tackle, phenomenal run blocker, very average pass protector.
Yeah, not so much in that
up front. Right. So up front, you're not like very good. And I just think offensive line play is very diminishing returns throughout the league. I think you can't find very good offensive linemen. The days where you're going to draft Orlando Pace number 1 or John Ogden number 6 and have him play left tackle for you for 15 years it's not happening as much. You know, there's 1 or 2 guys like Laramie Tunsil and Ronnie Stanley that come on around every few years, but because of the way the tackles are asked to play in college, it's very tough to evaluate them with everything spread out in the short passing game. They're not playing in real pass protection sets, or you get very few clips of them playing in real pass protection real pass protection sets. So they're going to have to get more mobile at the quarterback position. They're going to have to get better in their offensive line. I think their defense, their corner position is still a big question mark. You know, can you continue to trot out? Well, Richard Sherman's a free agent. Jason Verrett's a free agent. Emmanuel Mosley's an undrafted free agent who they've been kind of keeping for cheap for so long, but he's going to get a reasonable sum of money to be a starting corner somewhere. So there's a lot of questions all around there. They still have an excellent roster. They have a phenomenal coaching staff, a phenomenal coach. But I don't think it's as simple as, if they draft 8, they're just going to pick Zach Wilson and bang, they're back in the Super Bowl.
I mean, we all
that's
want
the
that
ideal
right?
scenario.
Yeah, exactly. In my head, we just lose out a few more games. The Washington football team makes it into the playoffs, so they bump up to 20, right? And then there we go. We get Zach Wilson. It's easy.
Right. Zach Wilson would be a start, right? He would be a start because he can throw the heck out of the ball. He has a really strong arm. He moves well. Like he looks like the real deal. But they're gonna have to still get some more. Like the 2019 roster was that level of perfection. It'll take years to get back to that.
Yeah. Well, there's just so many things that fit so perfectly well. Yeah, that's even. Sorry, Aaron, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Well, I was just gonna say, since we were talking about that, that almost perfect Niner season that came just short of the goal. Let's talk about this year. There's still lots left to play out in the season, but I'm here to ask you, who do you think, as of right now, is going to be playing in the Super Bowl come February, or if it gets pushed back, who knows what's going to happen with how they'll figure that out. But who do you think is going to be making the Super Bowl? And also, what is your dream Super Bowl matchup? Just any 2 teams you would want to see in the Super Bowl. Like, what 2 teams would you pick? So
I'll answer my dream Super Bowl first. I really want to see the Pittsburgh Steelers win the Super Bowl this year. I really do. I'm a big Ben Roethlisberger fan. Not of him off
the field. I knew I liked
only on the field.
I love me some Big Ben.
Yeah, so on the field, my takes, my friends know this. My closeted hot take is that I think Big Ben Roethlisberger is a better all-time quarterback than Drew Brees. I really do. Ooh. I think there's usually 3 schools of thoughts, not tots, when you're evaluating quarterbacks, right? Physical talent, accolades, and winning accolades. Big Ben has better physical talent than Brees, and he has more winning accolades. And he's done it with how many different offensive coordinators in the AFC, where you have to play outdoors in Baltimore against the Ravens, and Flacco was a good playoff quarterback. In New England and Foxborough up against Brady and Belichick, and you had to do it in Denver outside against Manning. So that was his prime when he had to do it. Brees has struggled outside. He has Sean Payton that helps a lot. They play within the dome. Brees also had seasons where he went 7-9 because their defense was bad. Big Ben had some pretty bad defenses in 2016, 2015, and they still went deep in the playoffs. So I really do think I can elaborate on it another time, but I think Big Ben's a better all-time quarterback than Brees. So I really would like the Steelers to win.
No, I don't. I see. I'm conflicted there because the Steelers. I don't want them to win because I'm trying to get the Niners to have the most Super Bowls of all time. That's my thought process. Exactly. That's where I see where you come from. I would like to see the Steelers to win, especially after last year, where it almost felt like how this year with the Niners, everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong. Last year, kind of for the Steelers, the same thing happened where everything that could go wrong went wrong for them. And I think the one thing also that you didn't mention on with Big Ben is just crazy that he's played with like the combination of receivers almost like every year it changes. It's like he doesn't have a consistency at receiver, and I think maybe now he does with Claypool, Deontay Johnson, and Juju. Like that's a crazy.
Yeah, but I would argue all those receivers that have come through there like this. Oh, the Steelers are so good at drafting receivers. I think one, they are good at drafting receivers like Emmanuel Sanders, incredible pick. Antonio Brown, incredible pick. But the way Big Ben plays quarterback and how he can stand in and throw the football down the field really enhances how good these guys are. I don't think Chase Claypool is looked at as good as Brandon Ayuk and T. Higgins and CeeDee Lamb right away, right off the bat this year if he's not playing with Ben Roethlisberger and that style of quarterback play. I mean, look at Mike Wallace. Never did anything away from Big Ben. So there's a lot of different guys that have put up numbers. Juju, I would put Juju as another guy who really benefits from playing with Big Ben in the style of quarterback where a lot of the times he'll come to the line of scrimmage, and if you're one-on-one, he won't just sit and say, this is the play. Nah, he'll say, go running out and I'll just throw it to you. And they'll play backyard football, pitch and catch like that. So I do think that, but yes, to answer the question, sorry, I went on a giant tangent. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, I want the Pittsburgh Steelers to win the Super Bowl, and I would love to see them play the New Orleans Saints so I could see this hot take play out on live television. What I think will happen is, unfortunately, it pains me to say this, I think Kansas City is going to be in the Super Bowl, and I think New Orleans will be in the Super Bowl, and I think Kansas City will win.
Yeah, no,
that would be the not ideal scenario for me. I'm the quote unquote hater of
the biggest
Saints,
hater.
Kansas City, Baltimore. I just
Tennessee.
don't sit well with those teams.
Just add a few more teams on there too.
I'm not the biggest Mahomes guy, and it's nothing against Mahomes. I really hate the way he's covered. People act like this is the greatest thing we've ever seen. Like, did people not watch 2011 Aaron Rodgers?
All right, man, you lost me here a little bit. You kind of lost me. I was with you on Big Ben.
Yeah, according to Boaz, Mahomes is going to be the Michael Jordan of football.
Football. Yeah,
I don't think so.
I mean, I'm with you. I feel like it's too early to just call like Mahomes the best thing we've ever seen yet, too. And 2011 Aaron Rodgers was, amazing to watch. I just feel like if Mahomes just keeps this up for a couple of years, I feel like then we can start saying it. But we'll see what happens then.
So here's my thing, right? So there was also a quarterback in the 90s before all of our times, but he won 3 straight MVPs, and he was physically maybe the most gifted quarterback of all time. And he used to jump up into his offensive linemen's laps, and everybody wanted to be like him. And that was Brett Favre. And look at how Brett Favre's career turned out. People thought Brett Favre, before he lost the Super Bowl to Denver, was going to be the greatest quarterback ever, because he was as physically gifted as Mahomes. The interceptions you can say, but I would say an era has a lot to do with it. Like, Peyton Manning was not a turnover-prone quarterback, but he threw 10-plus interceptions every single season in his career. Today, if you throw 10-plus interceptions, you're turnover-prone. So it's a totally different era. Favre was a little looser with the ball, but I'd argue that Mahomes gets away with being loose with the football. A lot of dropped interceptions. I don't like PFF, but they have their turnover-worthy plays, and Mahomes is every season pretty high on the turnover-worthy play list, but his actual turnover count is low. So there's nuance to it. It's not that he isn't the best quarterback in the NFL or he isn't very good. I just want to pump the brakes before everybody goes, this is the best quarterback of all time.
I get that, but see, where I'm coming from is that, like, in this first year, he gets the MVP. Second year, he wins the Super Bowl. And I mean, like, if this was like his peak, if we're talking about like right now, Mahomes was like 28, 29. I mean, that's still pretty good. Like, I mean, that's, Dan Marino never even won a Super Bowl ring. Like, he got it in his second year. So I'm saying, I just feel like the sky is the limit. Like, just like the potential of Mahomes is MJ of football. I do see where you're coming from with, like, I don't want to be like, I wouldn't put him right now. Like, we're going like an all-time quarterback list. I mean, I don't think he should be in the top 5 right now or anything like that.
But top 10.
Probably not either. Probably not in the top 10 after 3 years. I don't think so either. But the potential of him, you're right. And I mean, we've seen guys who like, oh yeah, the potential is fucking crazy. But Mahomes, yeah, I mean, just the potential of him is as high as it could possibly get for any football, for any athlete in general.
I don't think Mahomes can progress as much as a quarterback anymore. He's probably near his ceiling. Like, How do you maybe cut down on the interceptions or like interception worthy throws? I don't see how much higher his ceiling goes. He's
that's
probably
the point. That he's
pretty,
so good that you're like, I don't know how much better he can be, but he's only like what, like 24, 25? Like that's the crazy thing.
Okay, so
26?
three things. One, the guy that I think most people regard as the GOAT quarterback, I certainly do. He won a Super Bowl in his first year of starting. He won a Super Bowl in his third year of starting, and he won a Super Bowl in his fourth year of starting. And he did it with 2 Super Bowl MVPs, arguably 3, right? Because wide receiver winning a Super Bowl MVP is a little complex because the quarterback is getting all the numbers by throwing in the ball. So it's right. So it's a very nuanced thing of, does the receiver really deserve it when the quarterback's the one throwing it? I mean, but yeah, Deion Branch definitely deserved that Super Bowl MVP, but he was 3 for 4 in his first 4 years of starting in Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, I remember in 2011, right? That was like prime of me watching football when I was 10, 11 years old. People thought after that 2010 Super Bowl, I think it was his second year of starting, and what he did that 2011 season, that this was going to be the run, like the Michael Jordan run. And it didn't work out because the team around him started diminishing. Same thing with Mahomes. Like, if he is so reliant on Travis Kelce. And it's not a bad thing at all. It's actually a very good thing because Travis Kelce is an awesome player and probably a Hall of Famer. And Mahomes is an awesome player. But he's so reliant on Travis Kelce. And I think there's gonna be a time when Travis Kelce has to go, when he's gonna start struggling. And it's not gonna be that he struggles like he's playing really bad. He's just gonna be struggling compared to Mahomes standards and stuff. And that's where I want to see, right? Because the great quarterbacks, they bounce back after those down years. We haven't seen Mahomes have to bounce back yet.
I mean, you're right. It's going to be interesting in a few years when you're right, when Kelce is gone, and when I mean, that's a lot farther down the line. But when Tyreek Hill, they have him there, he like stretches the defense like crazy. Like he's a big part of the Kansas, just the whole system they have there. I mean, I don't know. You're right there. I mean, it's way too early to be proclaiming him to be, just the greatest football player of all time. I'm still just going to still say that I think potential wise, he can be I think it's sky high. I've never seen a football player like Peyton Manning was one of my favorite quarterbacks. I don't know if I've ever seen a player with just this much potential as Patrick Mahomes has. But
I'll also say this. One last thing about him. He's never played a road playoff game. Part of being a great quarterback is going and winning a playoff game on the road. He hasn't done it yet. We'll see if he has to. He got lucky that Baltimore didn't show up to play Tennessee, or he would have had to play a road playoff game. So, I mean, not lucky. It's not luck for him per se. It's more it's just how it worked out. But I would love to go see him play on the road because Arrowhead is one of the best home field advantages in the NFL.
I mean, do you consider the Super Bowl he played in as a road game, or
no, he had 3 extra teammates on that one.
Because both teams, there's nobody's playing at home.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
He got the refs on his time, on his team there. So
no, I'm not into the ref thing. No, they lost the Super Bowl. No.
No, that was bad.
Definitely.
Let's get into something a little bit more fun. We've been talking about very serious about football and stuff like that. Thanksgiving's coming up. We're doing this whole episode. It's going to be Thanksgiving themed. A whole, I don't know if I'm just speaking for myself, but a whole thing of Thanksgiving. The whole family's together. Not so much this year, but just usually get the whole family together. And usually you get one relative. I'm just going to speak for myself, but one relative who gets a little too drunk and gets a little bit too aggressive. And sometimes it hasn't happened to me yet, but someone calls you out and let's go throw hands outside. So I'm going to give you NFL head coaches. And we're going to go down the list, Vish, you, Lemiter, and we're going to go down, all 3 of you guys. We'll be NFL head coaches. And if they're at your Thanksgiving party, they get a little too aggressive, drink a little too much. Do you think you'd beat them in a fight? And I'll give you some stats to see maybe if it backs it up, what you guys are saying or not. So Vish, let's start with you.
Wait, are you saying that I would beat him in a fight?
Yes, if you would beat him in a fight, yeah. Because we've had this to talk a lot. I've talked shit a lot about Zach Taylor. I've said Zach Taylor is the easiest head coach I can beat in a fight.
I'm 5'11", 150. They're all.
I'm 5'7". I'm 5'7", and I think I can beat Zach Taylor. I'm just.
No, Vish. The point of this segment is to be confident in your abilities as a fighter. We trust you. You got to trust yourself, but just in the reasonable bound. You can't be like, I'm taking out Mike Vrabel.
We'll change on the words. It doesn't matter if you beat him. Would you go in and be like, screw it, I'll get into a fight, or you'd be like, no, I'm getting my ass whooped. I'm staying out of this. We'll change it to that. Are you gonna throw a few punches, or are you saying, let's just chill out. First coach is Baltimore Ravens head coach John Harbaugh. That's who I got for you. What do you?
Am I first?
Yes.
Absolutely not. John Harbaugh. If I saw Jim up close and personal, because I watched every game he coached for the Niners, that dude was crazy. And him and John Harbaugh probably fought every day. John Harbaugh has to be next level crazy to be able to handle Jim. Like, I think he's just a more poised version of Jim, but he's still nuts. I mean, you saw him with Vrabel, right? Over the little dancing thing.
You don't want it. Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so absolutely not. John Harbaugh would reach a level of anger and intensity that's the key to winning a fight that I couldn't touch.
I'll give you one more thing. John Harbaugh, actually in college, his roommate was a WWE wrestler. So I mean, yeah, he probably knows a few moves. So you probably don't want to mess with him. All right,
No.
Lemire, you want to go next? I got for you Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy.
Nah, man, he was smashing watermelons
Dude,
over the weekend. I'm staying out of it. No, he's got the mentality. I'm gonna sit this one out.
Okay, yeah, no, that's probably good because he's actually got that, he's kind of hardcore. He used to in the off seasons when he was just a coordinator and stuff like that, he would go into construction and stuff like that. And just
where do you find this stuff?
I just found like random facts about it. Yeah, you don't want to mess with him. I mean, that's a big construction dude. I don't think I wouldn't mess with him. All right, Aaron, this one I don't know. This one maybe you think about beating him up. Pete Carroll, Seattle Seahawks. You got some anger. Being a Niners fan. Would you maybe like the testosterone comes out and the anger of all the times the Seahawks have beat us and it comes out and maybe you want to fight Pete Carroll?
Okay, before I give you an answer, real quick, do we have a height and weight on Pete Carroll? Do you have that?
I can look that up for you right now if you.
Okay. Well, I'm leaning towards fighting him just because he's on the older side. That's the only
5'11".
5'11". Okay, I'm 6'2". So I think I have the advantage on that.
Wow.
So you know what? Yeah, at the flex here. Sorry. Anyways, so fuck it. I think I can. You know what? I'll beat up Pete Carroll, and I'll spit a pack of gum on him. There we go. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Use his methods on him.
I like that. So the stat I have for Pete Carroll, his nickname at USC was Big Balls Pete because of he likes to go fourth down a lot. So I don't know. Yeah, Aaron's taking out Big Balls Pete.
You know what? I'm taking down Big Balls Pete, and maybe they'll start calling me Big Balls Aaron. That is my answer.
I like that a lot. Okay, that was just our messing around Thanksgiving segment. Aaron, you want to finish us off, right? You had a few.
Okay, Vish. So we have a weekly thing we do here. It's called our Drew Lock of the Week. So basically, what that is we pick a team that is under. Is it 2.5, right?
Yeah, Vegas odds, but I mean, just an underdog team. You can choose an underdog team.
Yeah, it's basically just
Drew Lock, just because his name.
just because of the pun, for the pun's sake. So basically, you just have to pick an underdog team that you think will be able to pull off the victory this week, and then you can just explain why, and then we'll just let you know if we're convinced or not. So, I mean,
all right, Vish will put you on a 1 minute clock.
Wait for the.
Yeah, let us choose. Yeah.
Oh, I already picked mine.
Oh, you got okay.
All right.
Yeah. Oh man, you came prepared. That's yeah.
I took a glance at the lines. The lines aren't great this week, but I took a glance at them. Lemire sent them to me like 15 minutes ago. So I have a good idea on who I want.
All right. Well, yeah, let's put them on the clock. Let's see if you can convince us.
All right, let's see.
You have 1 minute to convince us.
All right, so
now let's go.
So funnily enough, I'm actually going to Drew Lock and the Denver Broncos for my Drew Lock pick of the week. They're playing the New Orleans Saints, and here's why. We've gotten 1 week of Taysom Hill now. So I think there's going to be a little bit of tendency on what Sean Payton wants to do with Taysom Hill at quarterback. Well, he's going up against the defensive mastermind in Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio just made Tua's life miserable last week. I think he's going to come up with something similar that's going to give Taysom Hill something to think about. It's going to stifle the Saints offense. It's going to set them back for 1 week. And that's why the Denver Broncos will beat the New Orleans Saints this week. New Orleans Saints are still going to win the division. Lemire, don't get excited. They're still going to be a high seed in the playoffs. They're still going to go deep in the playoffs. But this week, I think Vic Fangio and that defensive scheme is going to give them problems.
All right.
Man, Lemire's going to want you on every week now. You hit everything he loves. It's Saints hate, just talking a little bit of shit about Drew Brees. You've hit everything on the nail.
All right, I'll start us off. I think I'll agree with you. I'm the resident Saints hater on this podcast, and I was actually going to pick the Broncos or the Saints to win this week, but I just need a reason, man. Let's go Broncos.
Lemire, so we've looked at it. So every week we do our picks and we do that. I think Lemire's picked the Saints to win like 3 times. So the Saints are like, in Lemire's predictions, they're the number 3 and number 4 overall pick. So they're probably going to pick a quarterback, right? Yeah. I mean, it's tough because so Lemire convinced me at one point early in the season to become a Saints hater, and I was like, oh man, Drew Brees' arms, it's gone. I can't do it anymore. And then I started, Aaron was like, Aaron likes the Saints. He's got some family in New Orleans, stuff like that, family that are Saints fans, and he got me back on it. and has been winning. It's been hidden for me. I can't. I'm sorry. Vish, man, I love what you're saying. You said it very confidently and very, if the Broncos win, I'm gonna be an idiot, but I'm gonna go with the Saints.
I have my Drew Brees jersey here, and Taysom Hill. I mean, I don't think he's that good of a quarterback, as a passing wise, that is. But I feel like they can maybe get some interesting stuff drawn up. Obviously I like the Saints, but it's a very compelling argument here because I mean, if they're going to make Taysom Hill throw the ball, I think the Saints probably going to lose. But I mean, if they can get Alvin Kamara going, if they can get Taysom Hill to run some read options, get some yards, like I don't know. I feel like this one's actually going to be close, and they're in Denver, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaning towards
altitude.
I'm leaning towards Denver here, but I went against the Saints last week because I thought Jameis was starting, and they always tend to play bad against the Falcons. But
come on,
you know what?
Side with me.
I'm gonna stick with them. I'm going the New Orleans Saints. I'm gonna pick them. I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos win this. I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos win this, but I'm gonna pick them. Can't go against them.
So 2 things. One, I think the New Orleans Saints will still drop a game to Atlanta. They always do. It's like Atlanta, no matter however good they are, they always get one out of New Orleans. And 2, regarding the Broncos, the only thing that makes me a little nervous is that the Drew Lock isn't very good.
In the fourth quarter, Drew Lock is like the best quarterback in the league. In garbage time, greatest quarterback of all time.
That there's Nick Mullins is very good in garbage time. There's a few guys that can do that, but Drew Lock's got a hell of an arm. He's really talented. He's pretty athletic. He moves around. He can really throw the ball. He can really spin it. But man, everything else is so average with Drew Lock. I don't know if he's got whatever it takes. We'll see. But I've been very every time I watch him, I'm like, that's not the guy.
Hey, but does every other quarterback in the NFL rap the lyrics to a random song
or dance after every touchdown?
Well, I saw that got him in a little bit of trouble with Mr. Backwards Hat. Mr. Backwards Hat, Colin Coward was very upset. So,
yeah.
Oh, that was the greatest moment. He threw a game-winning touchdown and just starts dancing on him. It's just like the most white dance I don't think I've ever seen anybody just dance like that white. Like I can't describe it any other way. Just that was the most white boy dance I've ever seen in my life. Okay, Aaron, we got to finish up with our new tradition, our question we end with every single guest we've got on.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. Okay,
we got to do it.
I'm sorry to ask
you don't have to end now. If you want to talk about, I got a couple more minutes. So I got till 7:30. So if you want to.
No, this is cool. I think you're gonna hear this question.
What we could do is we could tell Vish our Drew Lock picks, and we could have him rate our thing.
Okay,
we could go on the clock as well.
Let's do that real quick. We don't have to go on the clock. We could just say our picks and stuff like that, and then we can get into because you're gonna hear the last question. We got this new question. We had Adrian Colbert on a few days ago, and we asked him this question. He spent 5 minutes just looking at us like, "Are you serious? Did you guys just really ask me that?" Like he was baffled. He was baffled.
Like the Adrian Colbert, former
safety,
the guy who everybody thought was the next Deshaun Goldson for 4 games.
Greatest safety. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's a pretty cool guy. I'll give him that.
When Aaron asked him that question, he stared at him and he was just baffled. Like he pinched himself because he thought he wasn't he was dreaming. And this was such a stupid question.
Yeah.
So we got to give you a few minutes for that as well. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, let's let me do you want to go
what's
first?
your Drew Lock pick? You could go first.
I'm gonna go with I've been bouncing around. I've been picking. I do the Colts one week, then I do the Titans the next week, then I do the Colts another week, and then I do the Titans. I'm going back to the Titans. I think the line is bad, to be honest. I know the Colts are favored by 3, I believe, last time I checked. I'm going with the Tennessee Titans, and the big reason is because DeForest Buckner just got on the COVID list. So I think Derrick Henry will be a much bigger factor now. I know Darius Leonard is back, so that's a big concern. I mean, the Colts defense is really good. They have other players on that D-line other than just DeForest Buckner. But I think, DeForest Buckner, we've seen him as Niners fans. He's amazing against the run. I think they're going to get Derrick Henry more involved. And I think, if you look back at that game when it was the Tennessee Titans versus the Colts, A.J. Brown dropped this crazy touchdown pass that probably would have went 70 yards per touchdown. That would have changed the momentum of the game completely. So I think that it's a very close game, much closer than Vegas is calling it. I think the Titans pull it out.
No. All right, next.
Wow.
Oh, I 100% agree. I'm a pseudo Tennessee Titans fan. I call them team underrated in the NFL. I think they have an underrated quarterback who is a top 10 quarterback.
Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill is the quarterback that everybody would like Jimmy Garoppolo to be, and that is smart, competent decision maker. If there's a throw that's there to be made, makes it, rarely misses. Very good deep ball thrower. He's all of those things. He's slightly athletic in the pocket, so I really like Ryan Tannehill. I love that they have a physical identity to run the ball. I think their defense is improving. Vrabel is a really good in-game manager, so I would have picked the Tennessee Titans too, and that's because I'm picking with my heart over my head. I really like the Tennessee Titans. I hope they go far in the playoffs. And that's my spiel on the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, no, I'm a big Patriots fan or a big Patriots hater last year. So I was, I really enjoyed it. They just crushed the dreams of two teams I really didn't like, the Baltimore Ravens and the New England Patriots last year. So, I got a little love for the Tennessee Titans.
So does your hating and loving, does it go like week to week? Is it a year to year thing?
It's super emotional. It's because I actually really like the Patriots now with Cam Newton. I hate them with Tom Brady. It's very emotional. It changes all the time.
I'm assuming you don't like Tampa.
Tampa Bay. I'm not the biggest fan, but I actually kind of like AB. AB was like one of my favorite receivers back in the day. So I do kind of I want to see him get back on the right track as a person and as a football player. But that's really the only person like the Tampa Bay. Other than that, yeah, no, I'm cool with them losing.
I'm with you on AB. Guy won me 2 fantasy championships almost single-handedly. Really I can't leave him. I can't just stop liking him.
He lost me a fantasy championship. I traded for him and Andrew Luck last year.
That is true. That is true. No. This was pre before the season started, so that give Lemire a little bit of it was I think
I thought I got a steal. I traded away Keenan Allen and a running back, and I was like, damn, I got a steal, Andrew Luck and AB. Wow, look at me.
Never trade for a quarterback.
Yeah, no, just trade.
Quarterback's the lowest value position in fantasy.
Or tight end. It's one of those two.
No, tight end, there's only like 3 good options, and then everybody else is just whatever.
I mean,
I'm rolling with Noah Fant, 7.5 points
Waller,
a week. Solid.
It's Kelsey Waller this year.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's it.
Andrews maybe week to week.
Yeah.
Taysom Hill last week.
I saw there was a hack. I mean, we're going completely off topic, but I saw people on what is it, ESPN?
ESPN.
You could just leave them in there. You could. That's crazy. Yeah, I have all Yahoo, so I didn't even get a chance to play my tight end, but that's crazy. Okay, sorry, that was just got on a big tangent there. Let me go ahead. What's your Drew Lock pick?
My Drew Lock pick is the Eagles. The Seahawks have their occasional bad week, and Carson Wentz has his occasional, hey, I'm still relevant, guys. I think this is going to be the week against the Swiss cheese Seahawks defense. And, the Colts, not the Colts, the Eagles' defensive line is actually quite underrated. So I'll give it to the Eagles this week.
I mean, I agree with you with the Eagles D line. I think they are underrated. People don't talk about the Eagles defense in general. I think if the offense was just a little bit better, the Eagles defense would get talked about way more. But that's just the fact that Carson Wentz has looked awful. Like, I mean, the fact that people are talking about like Jalen Hurts to come in and stuff like that. Like Aaron's been on this since last summer. He's been saying that Carson Wentz is awful. Yeah, I'm sorry. I gotta go with the Seahawks.
Hey, I fall for Carson Wentz. Like, he just manages to, like, I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna get away. He's the crazy ex that you're like, nah, I'm done. And then all of a sudden, oh no, I love you.
So I'm gonna call a total cap on both those things. The first thing is there's no way Philadelphia beats Seattle. They have nothing to play for. They're still gonna be right there in the thick of things in the NFC East even after they blow that game. So there's little chance. And I do agree that their defensive line is very underrated. I mean, we saw what they did to the Niners O-line. They single-handedly won that game, along with Nick Mullins just being a very, very physically limited quarterback. And then 2, I do not think Carson Wentz is bad. I think the hate is just being overblown. That's a terrible offense. He's got terrible wide receivers. The only thing that Carson Wentz is proving this year is that he's not a top-tier quarterback. He's definitely a second-tier guy, the type of guy where he can win you a Super Bowl, but you need to get more things around him. And with the right play calling and the right coaching, he's a top 5 guy. Without the right play calling, right coaching, he's a top 15 guy, the kind of guy that fluctuates year to year like Dak Prescott. I mean, the tier for this was Carson Palmer, Matt Ryan, Matthew Stafford for years. That kind of player. He's not in the top tier of Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers.
Perfect. Kind of reminds me of 49ers, just saying.
Kind of reminds me of Derek Carr a little bit. Because I feel like Derek Carr, remember, he had that one season where he was going to win MVP, then he got hurt, and he hasn't come back. And this year he's bounced back a little bit this year, but he just hasn't looked the same. And Carson Wentz, the same thing, that since he tore his ACL, when he was looking like he was going to be on pace to an MVP, he just hasn't really come back and been the same guy.
For me with Carr, though, I feel like breaking his leg and then not getting protection the year he came back, I think it totally shattered his confidence for a while. And he needed to check the ball down and not take hits to get his confidence back. Like, the talent was always there. He had everything to be a top 10 quarterback, and it seems he's putting it together.
For sure. All right, Aaron, let's finish this off. All
right, well, I'm gonna be a little brief on this one. I'm picking the Seahawks here because just the Eagles, like, I mean, they could still win the NFC East, maybe going to playoff run, who knows. But I just, I've been the big anti-Carson Wentz guy. I think he's just, I wouldn't say he's awful. I just think I just thought he was super overrated, and I think he's just mediocre, honestly. Like, he had the good season, but he leads the league in fumbles and interceptions. I mean, like, you're not going to win like that. I mean, come on. And honestly, he just plays hero ball. His footwork is off. All he does is just fucking like chuck into like double coverage, and his footwork is just terrible. So yeah, I'm gonna go Seattle. But enough about Carson Wentz. I feel like I've ranted about that too much.
All right, your Drew Lock pick, Aaron.
Yeah.
All right, my Drew Lock pick. This is probably the worst one out of all of our Drew Lock picks. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. The Cincinnati Bengals are playing the New York Giants this week, and do you even know who the Bengals starting quarterback is?
Ryan Finley.
Yeah.
No, he's not starting. They announced someone else is starting.
Oh, inside joke.
No. I'm not. This isn't even the inside joke. Like, they dead ass like said like someone else is starting. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Really?
Yeah, it's the guy behind Ryan Finley. I saw this on Reddit, so who knows? But like, there was like a tweet that the Bengals said Ryan Finley's not starting.
Yeah, apparently Brandon Allen is going to start before Ryan Finley.
Wow,
that guy.
Who the hell is Brandon Allen?
He started for Denver
with the Broncos. With the Broncos last year.
Hey, look at me.
Guy?
When they had four Allens, right?
Dropping
Four
gems.
Allens were starting. Yeah.
Look at me just dropping knowledge gems out here. Anyways, that's besides the point.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So Ryan Finley tore his ACL.
That guy's gonna beat the Giants.
Yes, and let me tell you why. Brandon Allen's going to beat the Giants. You know why? NFC East, you never know what's going to happen. I'm calling it right now. This is going to be I don't even know. The Giants, I mean, people are saying, they're a good team. I mean, Brandon Allen's beating Daniel Jones. There's no reason for it, so I don't blame you guys if you go against me. I'm just feeling it right now.
I'm going to call big old cap on that.
I don't blame you.
Cap.
I don't blame you.
I got a cap right here. Big cap. Whatever's on his head, big cap. Here's the
I'll
thing
put on
with the
some
Giants.
caps.
They're a good defense. People aren't talking about that defense enough. It starts up front. Those three big guys are very good, whether it's Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, Dalvin Tomlinson. I mean, Blake Martinez is still Blake Martinez, but he's upgraded. He evolved a little bit. He's a little better than what he used to be. Right. Now he's tackling people for 2-yard gains instead of 6-yard gains. The James Bradbury has been an excellent signing. And then I like Daniel Jones. I think he's the most over-scrutinized young quarterback in the NFL. Everybody hated Daniel Jones before the draft, so they got to be proven right, and they got to rip on Daniel Jones all the time. Let me ask you this. What separates Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold?
One's good.
Daniel
Jones is better?
I think Daniel Jones is better.
Why do people think Sam Darnold has a better upside? What does he do better?
Do people think that?
I would say so.
Media does for the most part.
Yeah,
really?
You hear like people saying like, oh, I think the Jets will draft somebody and give Darnold.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
And they give Darnold the excuse, right, of Gase, and then they say Gase is the worst because he's not winning, but Sam Darnold's supporting cast sucks. So somehow Gase, who's a horrible coach to begin with, is supposed to coach a horrible team, but with Sam Darnold and win, but Sam Darnold can't win with this horrible team. Logic makes no sense to me. Sam Darnold has just been Mr. Beloved because he won the Rose Bowl with USC, and he's been pretty awful his entire footballing career since then. He has a couple of wow plays off schedule and instinctive, and everybody goes, whoa, just totally disregarding the inconsistent accuracy, the inconsistent footwork, the loopy motion, the inconsistent decision-making, all those things all across. He has nothing that makes me say, wow, at least Daniel Jones is athletic. He's a good runner. He has a cleaner throwing motion. He's a little better decision maker. So I like Daniel Jones more. I think Daniel Jones is the most over-scrutinized quarterback in the NFL. That's the end of my rant on Daniel Jones. Wow, I think I've come on here. I think it's just the fatigue of all school and the fact that I recorded another podcast before this, so I'm just ranting.
Taking your anger out.
We love it.
Things,
we love it.
But yeah, I think Daniel Jones is a better player than Sam Darnold. And I just think that there's no way that the Giants lose to the Bengals. No way.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm taking the Giants, and I'm going to say this. I think the Jets, I mean, they have the worst record, but I'm not going to – I actually could think, like, with Brandon Allen, the Cincinnati Bengals might be worse than the Jets. Like, they're just –
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow covered up for that pathetic offensive line so much.
Yeah.
Hey,
And
We
no,
had
no
Adrian
Mixon
Colbert
either.
on the show. We got to support his Giants. Let's go, Giants. All right, Aaron, you're on the clock. Vish has got to leave. 1 minute. Let's ask that question. We love that question.
So, Vish, I'm very sorry to ask you this. This is probably the hardest hitting question you'll ever hear in your entire life. So, but this is the shit our viewers want to hear. This is no CNN fluff bullshit question, okay? I'm going to ask you.
He set that up perfectly.
Okay. Would you rather fight 1 duck-sized Daniel Jones? No, 10 Daniel Jones-sized ducks. Fuck, I fucked it up, guys.
God damn it, Aaron. No.
I fucked it up. I fucked it up.
All right, we'll
All right,
pretend
okay.
it didn't happen. All right,
Do it again,
we're starting again.
Starting again.
You got it.
Would you rather fight 10 duck-sized Daniel Jones or 1 Daniel Jones-sized duck?
There we go.
What?
That's the reaction
Repeat the
Adrian Colbert had
question?
too. Yeah, that's the reaction Adrian Colbert had.
So, would you rather fight 10 Daniel Joneses that are the size of ducks or just a giant Daniel Jones-sized duck? What do you think? What do you think you have a better chance at?
First of all, I would definitely fight 10 Daniel Joneses.
They're fast.
Thank you.
They're
That's
fast. One of the
Ducks.
fastest
It's an easy answer. First of all,
Thank you.
Daniel Jones is a very submissive personality, right? You can see it. He's a very kind man, nice guy. He's not the kind of aggressive thing. He's not very aggressive. He's very subdued. He has the
Like a duck.
Eli face when he comes to the sideline. That's why Dave Gettleman loves him, right? Because he's an older traditional guy and he's worked under Ernie Accorsi, who thought Eli Manning was the perfect franchise quarterback. So there's all of that, right? And you got these ducks that are just unpredictably aggressive creatures. Like, why would I want a 6'5", 240 duck? Instead, I could just have these passive little things that I could kick around like a soccer ball in little Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
They're fast. That's what you got to think. The fastest quarterback, right, this year that's been
Got a
charted.
prop.
Those are fast. Those are fast little Daniel Joneses.
Yeah, but they're fast little nice Daniel Joneses. Maybe they'd take a
That's
little
true, that's
bread
true.
from me.
Maybe get a hug. Yeah, that's true. You get a group hug going with all 10 of them.
Yeah. I mean, the guy takes weekly beatings. Like, the only person I've seen take the beatings from the media better is maybe Jimmy Garoppolo, who, whatever you want to say about him, he does a hell of a job taking his weekly pound of flesh from the media and coming in and just doing his job and answering questions. Daniel Jones, from the moment he's gotten drafted, has just been a media target for God knows what reason. Things. That's why I just hate the draft process. I just hate how certain players get vilified during the process, and it kind of it's like a stigma throughout their career, right? I brought up the Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones dichotomy, right? The media is always propping up Sam Darnold and saying it's Gase's fault, it's Gase's fault, it's Gase's fault, because they like Sam Darnold before the draft. Well, why doesn't anybody say it's Jason Garrett's fault? Everybody said Jason Garrett sucked in Dallas. Why isn't he an excuse for Daniel Jones? Are you telling me Daniel Jones's weapons are good? They haven't drafted properly in that offensive line for years. I liked Andrew Thomas, but it looks like he's the worst of the 3 tackles between Wirfs, Wills, and Becton. Will Hernandez is very mediocre. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say those 4 guys. He's probably the worst. And
Yeah.
He was
He's
even
not big
projected, I
time.
think, I remember that, like, going into the draft, we were looking at, he wasn't, that was a very strange pick that he was the first offensive tackle picked. It was just kind of a weird pick to begin with.
Yeah, I think most people, from what I understood reading about the draft later, just like reading from the insiders, most people had him or Wills as the top tackle.
yeah.
Okay,
I liked Wills.
We don't know, because the NFL team's process is totally different from the process that we think. Like, we think a guy's going top 10, and then he falls to the 4th round, and we think, oh, why isn't this guy drafted? Well, no, it's just because the NFL teams totally value differently from the BS that the media has been shoving down our throat about that player for the last 5 weeks. So, yeah, but my bottom line is that I just don't think that, because to me, they're both unknown commodities with certain limitations, with certain proficiencies, and also, like, just a total lack of help. Like, Daniel Jones hasn't played with Saquon for most of his career. Sterling Shepard's been in and out. Evan Ingram's been in and out. Like, it's not like it's almost as bad as Darnold's situation. And he has the same problems. He turns the ball over. I think he's more accurate and is a little better decision maker. Not as good off schedule as Darnold, but that's really all Darnold's good at. So I just don't get that. I'll never get it, but I just think it's unfair. And Daniel Jones, if you're ever watching the Muffed Podcast, like, you got a fan in me. I got your back.
And he's got Dante Pettis now, so it's all going to go up now.
Okay,
There's no
that's
going back.
okay. You just didn't need to bring that up right now.
That's where his career might be ruined. That's yeah.
No, Dante gets undeserved hate as well, but
Deserved hate.
that's a whole
I
other
agree.
rant. Yeah,
Whoa,
that's a
wait,
whole
he said he
other
agrees.
rant.
Hold on, he said he agrees. Wait.
All right, I think that's where we cut this interview right. And
Yeah.
that's it.
No, it's not that. It's just that I think that people expected Dante to be something he's not in his second year. And then he kind of got into Kyle's doghouse. And I think the way they handled Dante was what was unfair to me. I think that was something that was a little upsetting about, because Kyle was supposed to be the mini Belichick, right? Well, what would Belichick have done with Dante Pettis? He'd have probably cut him after that training camp if he was that bad. He wouldn't have done this benching and embarrassing him by not dressing him for the Super Bowl and showing him up, and then having him play good against Arizona, but not good enough where you have Kevin White playing more than him 2 weeks later and all of that. Like, all of that was messed up. They should have just cut Dante and moved on and let Dante find himself somewhere. You know, if Dante was really bad or he didn't have it, then another team could have found it out. And if his talent really was there to be realized, another team could have found it out, because he just didn't work for the Niners. And the fact that they kept him around for that long made no sense to me, because they didn't give him the opportunities that they gave, say, a Kella Witherspoon to re-emerge, right? Like, Kella was given the opportunity to start again. They didn't bring anybody else. They traded up 2 picks in a draft that they didn't have picks at all to draft Ayuk. So Pettis, even if Pettis looked like Jerry Rice in training camp, it was done, because Deebo Samuel was going to start on one side and Brandon Ayuk was going to start on the other side, barring injury, right? That was a guarantee. And then Trent Taylor's got the connection with...
It's what it seems like. He's got a pride thing where, like, there's certain picks where he'll keep them around longer than they should be. Like, I still think that, like, CJ Beathard keeps them for a weird reason.
See, I don't think that one is pride, because Akello, you could say pride because he gave Akello another shot. CJ Beathard, he's kept him around and keeps giving him a shot when he clearly can't play and Mullins clearly can't play. So sometimes I'm like, just put Beathard in, because Mullins can't even throw the ball away under pressure. Yeah. So my thing is, but regarding Pettis, they never even gave him that second chance to perform. They kind of just kept him around and were just kind of showing him up constantly. Like, the kickoff thing was whack to me. Like, he should, the fumble on the kickoff, like, he should never bring it out. But none of these guys were bringing out the kickoffs or punts anyway. They just do this thing. Whatever that is, they just do it and they go on, right? So I thought all of it was whack. To me, they should have cut him like months before they actually cut him. It's unfortunate that it happened to him that way, but it's the end.
Good luck, Dante.
That fumble, that was a poetic ending for his legendary Niners career. I'll just say that. Very, I don't know. I couldn't have made it.
On that note, on the note of ending careers, Vish has got to go. I've actually got some homework as well.
All right.
Thanks, Vish, for coming on.
Thanks so much for coming on. Yeah,
the link for his stuff is in the bio. Check it out. He's very smart, as you can tell. So, yeah, thanks, Vish.
I'm sorry, I got way off track ranting about quarterbacks today. But
that Daniel Jones question, really, got you in that.
Dude, whether it's Jones or whether it's Big Ben versus Breeze, like, I got some quarterback hot takes I don't always get to share because I'm always talking about Jimmy and Nick Mullins, and there's not really any hot takes about them other than saying they're very mediocre and bad and just average guys who are propped up by an excellent system. At least in Jimmy's case, I think he can be solid within the system at times. So it is what it is. I mean, even Ryan Tannehill, there's another guy.
You got to come on here. And, air all these hot takes that you've been keeping inside yourself that Grant hasn't been letting you say out loud, or you haven't had the opportunity yet.
I think Grant would gladly take a step back and let me just go off like this. I'm usually just way more measured. I think it's just the exhaustion of school. Like, I got 45 more minutes. I got like 5 more hours and I get on break. And then mixed with the fact that I already talked a ton about sports today because we did a pod and everything. It's just, it's brought a level of deliriousness to me that I didn't expect. Well, all right, guys, I really got to go.
All right, man, you take a break. Yeah, I think you deserve it, man. All right, thanks for coming on.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh man, that was a great interview.
Hey, thanks Vish for coming on. If you're watching this, it was actually a really good interview. We really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a great interview, except for that one part where he said Derek Carr is going to be the next Tom Brady. And that was very interesting.
I didn't like the the Las Vegas Traders part, and I'm not a big fan of that team.
Yeah,
Speaking of, things we like, things we don't like, Thanksgiving's coming up. We talked about that in an interview. Thanksgiving we're recording this on Wednesday. Tomorrow is going to be Thanksgiving. You're going to be watching. It's going to be a few days after. But that's the whole theme of this episode will be Thanksgiving. We're going to talk about, things about football, just talk about the NFL season we're grateful for and things that we're not so grateful for. Let's start off with the negatives and then we'll go to the positives because, I kind of like ending on a good note. So we're going to go around and say what we're not grateful for this football season. And I'm going to start first because I usually always go last. I'm going to start first this time. And I'm going to say I'm not grateful for the 2020 49ers. They've fucked me. They've really fucked me. And I've been emotionally fucked. I feel like I've been physically fucked. And I've been spiritually fucked. Just in all areas I've been fucked. And every time, now I'm like, maybe we lose out if we get a good quarterback. And now watch it. They're going to win some games. And now we're going to get another defensive tackle. And it's going to be the next Solomon Thomas. So, the 2020 49ers have fucked me. And I miss the 2019 49ers. I really do. I'm sorry. I really do miss them. Like, that Wolverine meme with the painting? That's me right now with the 2019 49ers.
Oh, man.
Yeah. All right, Aaron. What are you not grateful for?
Well, I could talk about the 49ers. Obviously, I was looking forward to watching them. But, that's the basic one. And, as I can say, as an A's fan, I'm used to the team being good and then just sucking the next year. So I'm kind of numb to that at this point. But, it sucks that it's entering my football world. But something that I'm not thankful for is, Drew Brees getting injured and breaking his ribs. Because, Drew Brees is the reason I got into the football. When I was a little kid,
I thumbs up. Wait, Aaron, 1 second before you go. Let's thumbs up for every rib because apparently his rib count keeps going up. It was like 9 ribs, now it's like 13
Yeah, it was
ribs.
like 11.
All right, Lemire, you do 4, I'll do 4, Aaron does another 4. That's what? It's going to be 12. And then Lemire, you do 1 toe. There we go.
Yeah,
Can you do that?
I got it.
Yeah.
Hold up.
All right, Lemire, do 4. All right, that's 4 thumbs up. Let me hit you with 4 thumbs up. And now,
all right.
And 4, and then one more to get 13. There we go. All right. Sorry, Aaron. Go ahead.
So, Drew Brees is the reason I got into football when I was a little kid watching all the Saints games, playing Madden 11 when he was on the cover, and my family in New Orleans, too, who would send me Saints stuff. So, Drew Brees, is always one of my favorite players. And, I want to see him go out on a high note. And, with the Niners, being as bad as they are, which is another thing I'm not thankful for. But, I was looking forward to just seeing that. But now it seems like who knows if he's even going to play. I hope he does. I hope he gets to go out on a high note. And I'm just hoping, to see Drew Brees go on a Super Bowl run and just end on a high note. Just leave like that.
No, Aaron, what I was going to say about Vish was talking about he wanted the Saints versus the Pittsburgh Steelers to be it. And I think that what they should do, it should be a wager between Ben and Drew Brees. Whoever loses has to retire. That's how,
Whoever wins is going to retire anyway.
Well, no. That's, you don't want it because I feel like, I guess whoever wins or loses retires. Both of them retire. Then. So I guess that's what we're gonna do.
One goes out on a fairy
one triumphantly retires. Yeah, one triumphantly retires, and the other one just slouches down and just gets kind of kicked by his team off. All right, sorry about that.
All right, well,
go
that's
ahead.
all I have to say.
Oh, all right.
All right.
What are you not grateful for?
Both of you guys covered a lot, or the theme of my things I'm not thankful for. As a 49ers fan, this season does suck a lot. Like, it really does. I think they can still make the playoffs. So I'm not going to call it
fucked. Oh, no, Lemire, you're going to get double fucked because you think that. You're going to be a triple fucked, I'm going to say.
All right. But anyways, I'm going to go on the holistic view. As a football fan, I'm bummed about the injuries. I might not like certain players, but I want everybody to stay healthy and have a good year of football. Saquon Barkley, Nick Bosa, Drew Brees. The list keeps going on. Who else? Who else is injured? Let's see.
McCaffrey, Eckler. Those were
Joe
McCaffrey, Eckler, Burrow. Oh, yeah. Burrow.
The linebacker.
Said his name.
Cam with the COVID brain.
Cut that out.
COVID brain.
Yeah, multiple players getting COVID. Who else is injured? Let's think about my fantasy.
All right. Let's not just start listing off just injuries. All right.
But like there's some extremely fun players to watch, and I hope all those guys get back to 100% soon and ball out next year.
2021, yeah. Fuck 2020 in general. I think that's just a mood. Fuck 2020 in general.
Certified.
And honestly, I'm gonna say this right. I'm gonna knock on wood after I say this. I'm really scared that what if 2021 is worse? Like 2020, at least we got the first 2 months. What if 2020, at least the first 2 months were kind of good? What if 2021 just all sucks?
No,
another pandemic. SARS is back, baby. Pandemic.
Knock the shit out of the wood, Aaron. Knock the shit out of the wood.
Yeah. I'm fucking tired of online school. I know it has nothing.
Yo, COVID-20 gonna be sick though, right?
Fucking tired,
Literally.
just staring at the fucking computer screen all day, dude. I want to go out.
All right, I'm gonna knock double on wood right now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's get into, let's finish off on a good note. We talked about, we just shat all over it, what sucks. Let's finish up with a good note, what we're grateful for. I'll go last this time. We'll go, Lemire, you go first since you went last.
What I'm grateful for in football this year is Josh Allen. He's been one of my favorite players in the league for a while. And, I'm just so grateful he's finally playing near his potential. I think he's got ways to go, and I think he could be way up there. But I'm just grateful that him, Aaron Rodgers, some of my favorite players are balling out this year. Huh?
Dante Pettis.
I hope Dante Pettis balls out for the rest of the season.
Walmart.
Right. I hope Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen keep this up, and
Right.
it's just lovely to watch them.
I'm sorry, 2020 has made me too cynical. Even on a good segment, even on the supposed to be like the wholesome good segment, I'm still shitting.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, go ahead. I'll try to refrain from.
All right,
shitting,
I think it's gonna be pretty hard for you to shit on this one. So what I'm thankful for in 2020 is just having a season in general. I mean, I think that's an accomplishment in itself. Because a lot of NFL fans don't seem to appreciate that someone gets the Rona, they're like, oh man, the NFL is trying to screw us by postponing the game. It's unprecedented times. You just got to go with it. They said they don't care about what am I trying to say, competitive fairness when it comes to this. They're just going to do what they got to do. And I'm thankful for the fact that I get to sit down and just for being as stupid as I am, I just get to sit down, turn my brain off and just yell at the TV, go like, that's not fucking holding. It's great. I feel like that's better than just staring into the eternal void of nothingness, which was happening before everything restarted. So I'm just thankful I get to just yell at a TV over something that does not matter. But to me, it means the world. It matters to me. And that's all that matters. So I'm thankful that there's a season.
That was very well put, Aaron.
I didn't even say that. I haven't said it. This is not what I'm going to be thankful for or what I'm going to say is, but another one, like a kind of like a honorable mentions type of thing is NFL coaches and face masks. Like we're like next year, hopefully we don't have to see that anymore. But that's just that's like those first 2 weeks where we were just seeing like what every NFL coach is going to do with their face mask was just so funny. It's just like seeing guys who are like so dedicated to football, but are just so bad at every other aspect of their life that like they can't even just keep a mask. Like the fact like Andy Reid with his whole mask fogged up, and then where fucking John Gruden had like the mask just off the entire time and he got fucking fined for it. I don't know. I'm just I'm gonna say I missed that, not for the fact of like I'm gonna miss always having to wear a mask on and all of that. I just missed the entertainment value of seeing what coaches do with their masks. But I'll finish up on a good note. I'm thankful for the NFC Beast, the greatest division of all time. It doesn't matter. It's just entertaining. I mean, it's pure entertaining. Thanksgiving, we're going to see a great NFC Beast matchup. And I'm just, I love me some Beast football, especially at a time where the 49ers, might not be on par with the rest of the rest of the teams in the division. So it's fun to see a division where pretty much every single team is exactly the same and they suck exactly equally. So I'm just really excited for the next few weeks and what's going to happen with the NFC Beast and who's going to come out of there. That's going to be my Super Bowl. I want them to win.
I want the football team. I mean, let's go Giants. Adrian Colbert was on the show.
I do like the Giants, but a football team. Come on, I want the football team to win the Super Bowl. Like, how crazy would that be?
Hey, remember the football team won the Super Bowl?
That would be the epitome of 2020.
That would be how hilarious would that be? Because like the Washington R-Words they had a kicker who won MVP. So now they're gonna have their football team is gonna win the
first
Super Bowl.
5 and 10 team to win the Super Bowl.
Oh God!
That's what I think. Honestly, as just not even as NFL fans, but as human beings, everybody should be rooting for the Washington football team to win a Super Bowl, and some like in the back of their mind a little bit. But yeah, no, I'm gonna finish off. More like I guess kind of wholesome. I don't know, no, but it's just I'm thankful for Aaron, you and Lemire coming on, and every week we got to do this.
Aww.
I'm thankful for everybody listening, and everybody who listens to my podcast, everybody who supports us, and for everybody who comes on all of our interviews like Vish this week and Adrian Colbert. And just people who've come on throughout just this whole time that we've been doing this. I mean, we haven't done this for too long, but hopefully this continues on. And next year we can revisit and see who else has joined now and see our list. And hopefully, it's a lot bigger, hopefully. But yeah.
Me too, man. We love you guys. I love you guys. I love the listeners. You guys are my homies.
Ooh. Dude, fuck yeah. And on that note, this has been this is probably the best ending we've had to a podcast.
Happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
This is wholesome.
Happy holidays.
It's wholesome.
See you guys next week. Peace.